Ram, here we are discussing what are the stages one has to pass through in order to master any skill. The first stage, unconscious incompetence, this is the theory on this anyway, is when the person is not even aware that he is not aware. That means you don't know what you don't know, and unfortunately, some people think that they already know, when the truth is they don't know anything. This is a terrible state to be in. So, from there, by some stroke of luck, people might come to that next stage where conscious incompetence. That means they are aware that they do not know. This is the stage when you can expect the person to listen and to learn. So, but most people don't even come to this stage. They indulge in whataboutery. You understand whataboutery? WHATABOUTERY. Whataboutery is instead of answering the question, they will rake up some other issue and go about in a roundabout manner. What about that and what about this? But not the topic, that's not the question that is being asked. So people indulge in all kinds of dumb rationalizations and whataboutery, but they will never admit that they don't know something. So these people are unteachable and untrainable. So if somebody is fortunately in this stage of conscious incompetence, then he can be educated. Like, it is sad. It is easy to educate the uneducated, but extremely difficult to re-educate the miseducated. So get that clearly. So let's therefore agree when we don't know something, we arrive at this stage. Then we are amenable to teaching. So then with learning, you arrive at the next stage, which is conscious competence. That means you know whatever you are doing and you are skilled. But then that's not sufficient to achieve a certain level of excellence. The pursuit of excellence requires unconscious supercompetence. That means you Modiize yourself or Tendulkarize yourself or Kohliize yourself or Phelpize yourself. Michael Phelps, his career haul is 23 gold medals. And in Beijing Olympics he earned 8 gold medals. He was asked how. He said, I've put in 10,000 hours of practice. Now, this unconscious supercompetence is the stage which is also called the flow state. And these people are the clutch performers, which means the people who can perform even when the tensions are running very, very high. In critical situations, they perform very well. They are the clutch performers. The exact opposite are the chokers. The chokers are those people who choke literally, in the sense that they have the ability, but they cannot handle the tension and they experience what is called YIPS, YIPS, temporary loss of ability due to tension. So, now this is exactly, these are all the things that one has to do in order to reach that level of competence. Now, what has happened to our Hindu society is reflected on the right side, Hindu regression stages. Our customs and traditions, everything about Hinduism is deeply scientific, including the food. There was a time when our rishis explained things and our ancestors, our forefathers, were following whatever they were following with full consciousness. You see, that is the stage of conscious competence. So wearing the tilak or the bindi, tilak or bindi is, the material is kumkum, chandan and so many other things which have medicinal properties. And the plexus on the forehead is a nerve center which is called the Ajna Chakra, and it is related to the pineal gland. So slight pressure on that has a physiological impact. So that's a topic for a discussion in a different video. So, and it cools the head and so many other scientific therapeutic benefits are there. So then comes look at the birthday celebrations. How are we supposed to be celebrating our birthdays? There was a time in my childhood also, we used to celebrate birthdays in a particular way. Get up in the morning, have a Mangala Snanam, or on the eve of the birthday we used to go to the temple, do spring cleaning of the house and read the Rudram Namakam Chamakam, and on the birthday get up in the morning, have a proper Mangala Snanam and then take the blessings from your parents and then the elders, and then you also be involved in cooking and you cook your favorite food item and invite people for lunch, not dinner, and get drunk. That's what people are doing, getting drunk. And then And then also, you might have an evening party, no problem. The soiree is perfectly all right. Soiree. Soiree, that's how it is pronounced. Soiree means an evening party. Now, it used to be our custom that we always buy and stock things, small figurines, to be given away to the guests who come. Because in Hinduism, we do not want to have any kind of a debt. We don't want to be indebted. When people give you a gift, if you don't give a gift back, your account is in the negative. So you'll have to be reborn again to pay that. So therefore, it's a wonderful sentiment. All that is gone right now. And in the birthday celebrations, what are people doing? They're getting stupid, dumb cakes which are loaded with calories and chemicals. They're putting candles on that, lighting that up, and spitting on that. Well, to the naked eye, it's not visible. But when you use a magnifying glass and see what happens, I'm sure you will see a fine spray of saliva landing on the cake, and everyone has a piece of that saliva-laden cake, and they think they are doing a great job. That's the dumbest thing you can do. That's not how birthdays are celebrated. Now look at the rangoli. There was a time when rangoli used to be with rice powder. Even today in our villages they do that. But now all kinds of chemicals are there. It is bad for the ecology. And I don't want to go into further examples. You can make out yourself. The dress and marriage rituals and foods that we are eating. You see, Hindu food is based on Ayurveda, and it's deeply scientific. And we are now eating the junk that the Americans are eating, and diabetes is on the rise, and all other problems follow. So conscious competence is the stage when our forefathers knew exactly why they were doing whatever custom they were doing. Then unfortunately, thanks to colonization, loss of teachers, and we hit the stage of unconscious competence. That means some of our forebears or forefathers, they were following the customs, but they were unaware. They didn't know why they were doing what they were doing. And full colonization, the result is unconscious incompetence. Now that means our generation, or one generation, my generation, and your generation is in the next stage anyway. My generation, unconscious incompetence. There was a time when I was a Macaulay Putra myself. So you see what happens is, in this stage, you are not aware that you're not aware. And you are indulging in all kinds of dumb activities under the mistaken notion that whatever Americans do or whatever the Westerners do is smart and liberal and modern, and our Hindu customs are outdated. So this is again a stupid thing, and we are using plastic stickers on our foreheads with weird designs and gums which are carcinogenic, and spitting on cakes and blah blah blah. So this nonsense is going on. Then people come to the conscious incompetence. Fortunately, when people like me intervene, some of you might think, yes, I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing. And there seems to be a problem with what the Americans are doing, and we are dumbly imitating their dress codes, their food, and all that. But here, unless you get some real knowledge from somebody who's done the work like me, the problem is you will completely abandon that practice. This is how Hinduism is getting eroded. Fortunately, at this stage, now, thanks to the resurgence in India, thanks to Modi ji and Yogi ji, Hinduism is on the upswing. There are many people like me who would be able to explain to you why we do whatever we do in Hinduism, which is deeply scientific and spiritual. So then there is a possibility that from this stage, you can go back to the higher stage of conscious competence like our forefathers. So, end of the story. Now you can take a good look at the complete chart. These are the stages on the left side to Modiize, Tendulkarize or Kohliize yourself. Get into the flow state. Be a super performer, unconscious super competence. But unfortunately in Hinduism, this is what we are facing, and I hope you listen to my talk carefully and pass it on so that more and more Macaulay Putras or pseudo Hindus wake up to the great legacy of Sanatana Dharma and become true Hindus. Jai Shri Ram.